one who is eating with me." They began to be distressed and said to him, "Surely not I." He said to them, "It is one of the 12, one who is dipping bread into the bowl with me." While they were eating, he took a loaf of bread, and after blessing it, he broke it and gave it to them and said, "Take, this is my body." Then he took a cup, and after giving thanks, he gave that to them, and all of them drank from it. He said to them, "This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many. Truly I tell you, I will never again drink of the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new in the kingdom of God." When they had finished the meal, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Jesus said to them, "You will all become deserters." Peter said to him, "Even though all become deserters, I will not." Jesus said to him, "Truly I tell you, this day, this very night, before the cock crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. But he said vehemently, "Even though I must die with you, I will not deny you." And all of them said the same. They went to the place called Gethsemane. Immediately, while he spoke, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. And with him there was a crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests, the scribes, and the elders. Then they laid hands on Jesus and arrested him. But one of those who stood near drew his sword and struck the slave of the high priest, cutting off his ear. Then Jesus said to them, "Have you come out with the swords and clubs to arrest me as though I were a bandit? Day after day I was with you in the temple teaching, and you did not arrest me. But let the scriptures be fulfilled." All of them deserted him and fled.
Day by day, day by day, oh dear Lord, 3 things I pray: to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day. Day by day, day by day, oh dear Lord, 3 things I pray: to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day, day by day, by day by day by day.
Wow, last night. Woo! Wasn't that awesome? Yeah, you think those voices are still around?
Still here.
Me too.
Yes, I am.
So am I.
And who are you again?
Matthew.
Mark.
Luke.
John.
And where are you again?
All around you, in all the crosses you see around the church, everywhere you go.
Could we maybe check out Good Friday like we did Monday, Thursday? Yeah, could we? That was even better than a video.
Okay, like last night, I can show you everything except Jesus. But every time he speaks, you'll hear him. And you'll know where he is because one of the crosses will light up.
Wow, let's get started.
Okay, let's begin again with Jesus and his disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he told them to sit while he went to pray. He took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, James and John, and he said to them,
I am deeply grieved, even to death. Stay here and keep awake.
And going a little farther, Jesus threw himself to the ground and prayed.
Father, for you all things are possible. Remove this cup from me. Yet not my will, but your will be done.
When he returned to where he left the 3 disciples, he found them sleeping, and he said to Peter,
Simon, are you asleep? Could you not keep awake 1 hour? Keep awake and pray that you may not come into the time of trial. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
And again he went away. For the 2nd time he prayed,
My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done.
And he returned once more and found them sleeping. So leaving them again, he went away and prayed for the 3rd time, saying,
Father, for you all things are possible. Remove this cup from me. Yet not my will, but your will be done.
Then an angel from heaven appeared to him and gave him strength. In his anguish he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down on the ground. He returned to them a 3rd time and said to them,
Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? Enough! The hour has come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up. Let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand.
Now Judas also knew the place, because Jesus often met there with his disciples.
He's causing too much problem.
So Judas brought a detachment of soldiers together with the chief priests and the Pharisees.
He's gonna get it today.
This is the man. Arrest him. Greetings, teacher.
Friend, do what you are here to do. Judas, is it with a kiss that you are betraying the Son of Man? Whom are you looking for?
Jesus of Nazareth.
I am he. Whom are you looking for?
Jesus of Nazareth.
I told you that I am he. So if you are looking for me, let these men go. Have you come out as if I were a bandit? When I was with you day after day in the temple, you did not lay hands on me. But this is your hour and the power of darkness.
Now, Lord,
No, no more of this. Am I not to drink the cup that the Father has given me? Don't you think that I could appeal to my Father, who would at once send me thousands of angels?
Then all the disciples deserted him and fled. And Jesus was bound and led away like a common criminal. They took him first to the home of the priest Annas, where he was questioned, but he said nothing. Then they took him to appear before Caiaphas, the high priest. Peter followed them at a distance, right into the courtyard of the high priest.
Tell me about your disciples and about your teaching.
I have spoken openly to the world. I have always taught in the synagogues and in the temple where everyone can come together. I have said nothing in secret. Why do you ask me? Ask those who heard me. They know what I said. If I have spoken wrongly, testify to the wrong.
Now they were all looking for evidence against Jesus, so that they might put him to death, but they found none. Although many gave false testimony against him, their testimony did not agree. At least 2 witnesses came forward.
I heard him say, I will destroy this temple that was built with human hands.
And in 3 days I will build another without the use of human hands.
Have you no answer? Have you no answer?
In the courtyard nearby, the servant girls noticed Peter as he was sitting with the guards.
This man was also with Jesus, the man from Nazareth.
You're one of his disciples, aren't you?
I am not. I don't know him.
And a little later, someone else saw him.
You're one of Jesus' disciples, aren't you?
Woman, I am not. I don't know what you're talking about.
And the cock crowed. Then about an hour later, still others kept insisting.
Surely this man was also with them. He's another Galilean.
You're one of them. Don't deny it. Your accent betrays you.
You were with him in the garden.
Then Peter began to curse, and he swore an oath.
I don't know this man you're talking about.
At that moment, while he was still speaking, the cock crowed again. The Lord turned and looked at Peter. Then Peter remembered the words of the Lord, how he had said to him,
Before the cock crows twice today, you will deny me 3 times.
And Peter went out, broke down, and wept bitterly.
Tell us, you are under oath. If you are the Messiah, the Son of God, tell us now.
You have said so.
If you are the Messiah, tell us.
If I tell you, you will not believe, and if I question you, you will not answer.
Answer me, are you the Messiah?
I am. But I tell you, from now on you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of the Father and coming on the clouds of heaven.
What more testimony do we need? We have heard it ourselves from his own lips. He has blasphemed. Why do we still need these witnesses? What is your verdict?
Guilty.
He's a blasphemer.
He deserves death.
Now the men who were holding Jesus began to mock him, blindfolding him, spitting on him and striking him with reeds.
Prophesy to us, you Messiah.
Which of us struck you?
They kept heaping many other insults on him all night long. When morning came, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and the scribes and the whole council. Then early in the morning, they bound Jesus and took him to Pilate's headquarters. There, the governor confronted Jesus and the priests and council.
What accusations do you bring against this man? If this man were not a criminal, we would not have brought him to you.
He claimed he would tear down the temple and rebuild it in 3 days.
He claimed that he himself is the Messiah, a king.
Now we have a law, and according to that law he ought to die, because he claims to be the Son of God. Then take him yourself and judge him according to your law. We are not permitted to put anyone to death. Are you King of the Jews?
Do you ask this on your own, or did others tell you about me?
I am not a Jew, am I? Your own nation and the chief priests have sent him to me. What have you done? Have you no answer? You heard the charges brought against you.
My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were from this world, my followers would be fighting to keep me from being handed over.
So you are a king?
You say that I am a king. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my word.
I find no basis for this accusation against this man. But he stirs up the people with his teaching, beginning in all Judea and now in Galilee, and finally right here in the city of Jerusalem. He's a Galilean? Yes. Well, then he's under Herod's jurisdiction. Take him to Herod.
When Herod saw Jesus, he questioned him at some length. But Jesus gave him no answer. with the chief priests and the scribes accusing Jesus, Herod and his soldiers treated him with contempt and mocked him. Then sent him back to Pilate. Now Jesus stood before Pilate again, and the governor asked him,
"Are you king of the Jews?"
You say so.
"Didn't you hear the accusations against you? Perverting our nation,
Forbidding us from paying taxes to the emperor,
and claiming to be the Messiah, the King."
Claimed he'd tear down the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. Don't you refuse to speak? Don't you know that I have power to release you, or I have power to crucify you?
You would have no power over me unless it had been given you from above. Therefore, the ones who handed me over to you are guilty of a greater sin.
Amazing. You brought me this man as one who was perverting the people. Yet I examined him and I find him not guilty. Then you took him to Herod, and he did nothing. He could do nothing. He sent him back. Indeed, he's done nothing to deserve death. But you have custom to have me released for you someone at the Passover. Whom do you want me to release? This Jesus who is called Barabbas, or this Jesus called the Messiah?
Now the chief priests and the elders had persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas, a bandit, a man who had been put in prison for an insurrection that had taken place in the city, and for murder. So they all began to shout,
"Give us Barabbas, not this blasphemer. We want Barabbas."
Which of the two do you want me to release to you?
Barabbas, 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 Barabbas.
Give us Barabbas.
Then what should I do with this man who is called the Messiah?
Crucify him. Crucify him.
What evil has he done?
Crucify him. Crucify him. Crucify him.
I am innocent of this man's blood. Let this man's blood be on us and on our children.
Yes, his blood will be on us and on our children.
His blood is on us and on our children.
His blood is on us
And on our children.
His
blood is on us. His blood is on us. His blood is on us and on our children.
So Pilate released Barabbas for them and handed Jesus over to be crucified. Then the soldiers took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered around him. They stripped him, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. They put a reed in his right hand and knelt before him, mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. After mocking him, they led him out to crucify him, along with two who were criminals. Among the people who followed him were women who were beating their breasts and wailing for him. But Jesus stopped and turned to them, saying,
Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For the days are surely coming when they will say, Blessed are the barren and the wombs that never bore and the breasts that never nursed. Then they will say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. Were you there when they crucified crucified my Lord. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
And they continued onwards towards a place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull. When they arrived at Golgotha, they crucified him.
Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble,